Hello and welcome to Garblag Games Mage Masters and Monsters, the final episode.
Hello and welcome back to episode 13 of Masters and Monsters, the Garblag Games Mage the Ascension show. I'm Pete, I'm not the storyteller, but in a minute we'll go around and everyone will tell you who they are and who they're playing or what they're doing here. Before we do, please don't forget to go and check out our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. We've got loads of things going on over there. One of which being we just posted about the release of a new map on our Patreon over at patreon.com/GarblagGames. There's a link below. The Mountain Tollkeep is a map that I've just put together over the last week and we just shared it free for everyone. So go check it out. The adventure location based on that will be coming out very soon before the 6th of February. Alongside the Smuggler's Hideout, which is our other adventure location. So that'll be 3 in January. So our Adventurer tier patrons will get all 3. Our Initiate patrons have already had one and we'll get to vote on another one in February. Cool. Don't forget to join us on our Discord. There's a link for that below as well. Got a load of people on there now talking about things and more people signing up all the time, so it's really cool. And what else have we got to talk about?
Our upcoming shows.
Yes, upcoming shows.
So in addition to Flint and Steel, we also have a new Star Trek show that starts filming very
Who's running that?
Soon. Some guy.
Yeah, Star Trek Morpheus. Adam will be running a Star Trek show which begins filming tomorrow.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I was going to say, talking about filming now.
It's weird. Yeah, hang on. It's in the past, but it hasn't happened. Anyway.
Wobbly, timey-wimey thing.
Indeed. Really looking forward to that. I'm a massive Trekkie. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to kind of create together the world that's happened after all the shows.
Yeah, it's obviously canon, but yeah, it's 20 years later, so we
Exactly.
move on a bit and give a bit of distance. It's the next generation, sort of.
The next generation. Cool.
Although not, the next generation definition being 100 years.
78 years.
Well, sorry.
There's also our new Scion show that Colin's running.
Yep.
Vostok's Chance.
Also that way.
And we've just had our session 0.
We've had session 0 with 3 of the 5 players, and then we're going to do, so we'll go the rest of the character, go through a bit of the last bit's character creation, and then get started on the plot.
Cool. And it's a 90s reality show that's been revived in 1998 by an elusive figure who makes people sort of commit crimes within a staged area, and it's all kind of odd.
Definitely not a trap.
Basically.
It's like
Totally
American
not a
Gods
trap.
mashed up with
100%.
Running Man.
100% not a trap.
100% not a trap. Totally not a trap. Everything's above board. There's
Absolutely.
totally nothing sinister going on.
I'd soon he'll be able to say that without winking.
Well, I've never played Scion, and I'm not in the game, but I've watched 80% of the first episode.
80%.
I don't have a lot of time. I'm making all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So I've watched 80% of the show, and it's really cool because you give a really good rundown of like the feel of it, the mythos behind it, what's going on, and your own sort of home brewery that you've done, a little bit of house ruling, because a lot of people online agree that Scion
needs a bit of tweaking.
Yes, and they're going to bring out a second edition
At some point,
at
sometime.
soon-ish.
I was going to say, yeah.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Indeed. And when you subscribe, don't forget to click the little bell icon. So when a new video comes on, or we do a live, like we did earlier on today, and we'll be doing another one tomorrow, but again, that'll be in the past. You will get a notification, and you'll never have to miss another show on Garblag Games.
Never be able to miss
Never be able to.
It sends out 70 notifications each time.
Absolutely. Well, at the time of filming, we're up to 1,084 subscribers. So another 84 people have joined us since our big competition giveaway.
I was going to say, it's a non-bribed 84.
The non-bribed 84. I know, it's crazy. So that's amazing. And we're on course to get 100 in a month.
Wow.
For the second
that's
month in a row. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. We do this for you guys. It's a lot of fun. And the more people who watch, the more we can do, the more stuff. I'm going to do a D&D Planescape show later on, about beginning of April, I think, when Flint Steel Season 2 finishes. And there's all kinds of other stuff going on. We've got Escape the Dark Castle unboxing and playthrough.
Plus, we've got Dark Heresy starting as well
We do.
in about April time as well.
About April time, when Flint Steel finishes, Lawrence is going to come off the Thursday rotation and go on to the Tuesday rotation and run a Dark Heresy game. Your favourite, Adam, Warhammer 40k. But we've had a lot of people interested in that as well. So all new good shows coming. Sad to see Mage go, but without further ado, I think we should
Let's actually attempt to finish it. Yes. Right. Hello, I'm Sam and I'm the storyteller.
Hi, I'm Colin, and I am playing Captain Rufus William Foxmere, the very British Akashic Brother.
I'm Adam, and I'm playing Abe Cohen, member of the Society of Ether.
I'm Roger. I'm playing Private Ron McDougall, the Verbena Canadian soldier.
And I'm Pete, and I'm playing Jeremy Cranthorne, otherwise known as Odin, who is a slightly fanatical Order of Hermes mage.
We've at least got Odin sitting in the right place.
Oh yeah,
we have the son of Odin is sitting in the same place as you.
That's cool.
There's an Odin seat now.
Yep,
the Odin
it's
seat.
now an Odin seat.
That sounds like something from Norse mythology.
So we've
I think
got
he had a tree.
This is the Roger seat, and this is the Odin seat.
you go original series of Star Trek. You
So what you're saying is I sit on Odin's right-hand side.
Which is worrying in of itself.
And I think...
Right, we also apologise...
Braggy.
Nearly.
Nearly got another one in the right place as well.
Sorry.
We also apologise for all of the gloves and hats tonight. It's very cold in the UK, which is not cold by most people's standards, but it is by British standards.
Yes.
Minus something.
Minus 4.
Yeah. I'm just wearing the jacket and hat for the effect.
Yeah, but he doesn't feel cold. So, when we last saw our mages, they had dealt with the big bad, essentially.
Yeah. He got shot with a bullet with his name on.
He got shot by a bullet with little help from an Order of Hermes wonder made with being a bullet with his name on, and also a very, very cold metal spike that a nice man that made cream cakes gave you.
Yep.
Shot in the brain with a magic bullet, shot in the neck with a regular one, and then shanked in with a special
thing.
I love Mage.
And yes, a considerable degree of why won't you stay dead?
There was quite a lot of why won't you stay dead.
Life magic.
We know the woman might have done it. We just weren't taking any risks.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Life magic is a wonderful thing. Anyway, and I believe he had been safely interred.
We were just getting to safely trying to inter him.
When we left you were safely interring him in the icy hole that had previously contained the amber tablet.
Indeed.
So currently, you are in a Nazi base.
Yep.
That is currently severely compromised.
The Nazis have got other things to worry about, like a rampaging werewolf upstairs.
You currently have a rampaging werewolf upstairs.
Cool. I was so scared. I was so scared. I thought we were going to get torn to bits.
Yes.
I thought it was
or Jeremy was going to get torn to bits, and then you'd batter the werewolf to death with your manly fists.
I didn't think it was a good idea. Ron did.
That's role playing.
And more importantly, Ollie the dog did, and we all do what the dog says.
That's because Ollie is actually the hero.
Yes.
He's the hero.
Pretty much.
So Ollie Ollie made a new friend, as did Roger and Pete's characters, who has now gone to tear the rest of the base to bits unless it runs away.
Yes.
So some of it's running away, and very occasionally there's still the odd weird noise and sort of thudding thing, which are the bits that did not run away, or at least did not run away fast. Or at least did not run away fast enough. If you restrain a werewolf, you really need to plan for what happens when it gets free. So that is taking the attention of most of the people within the base, luckily.
Sorry, I just repositioned the camera and put you off.
Pete just repositioned me while I was talking.
Which is a bit weird when you can see the screen.
See it, so it's a little bit strange. Right.
What's happening? Earthquake.
Floating away.
Yeah, it's a little bit putting off. Anyway, so yes, you guys freed the werewolf. The werewolf is currently decimating the rest of the base unless it's bright enough to leave, leaving you guys in the basement of said base with a hopefully dead Nephandic master.
Hopefully not dead.
And a hopefully not dead, heavily paradoxed celestial chorister, who is currently, I think, curled up on everybody's coats pretty much.
With the dog.
With kind of her skin is just sort of seeping water filled with sort of dead-looking flowers at the moment.
Yeah.
Which is, a bit difficult in a frozen
It's strange.
glacier.
It's
Yeah.
also a bit unfortunate given that our exit route is underwater in a bathysphere.
That
We kind
is-
of don't want to fill the bathysphere with water.
That is
Is the water icing up as it comes out? Or is it...
It does when it gets far enough away from her. Though.
Okay.
It seems to come out relatively warm, but yeah, she there's an icy puddle forming around her while you guys
Okay.
are shifting the tab. Oh, and an amber tablet.
Yes.
So what are you going to do with yourselves?
Well, while they're doing all the kind of technical magic-y stuff of interring a
I
very,
think
very bad
basically
man.
putting him in a hole we already have and then blowing up the roof, dropping the roof on him.
Mhm.
Was
That's
basically
the
the
plan.
plan,
But while
yes.
they're preparing that, I reloaded my rifle and I am watching the way that a German would come, or a Nazi would come,
If they were running
if
away
they
from
were running
werewolves,
to, or if they were running towards us.
If they decided that a good way to get away from the werewolf was to go deeper into the base, which some of them might, unfortunately, they might regret that choice.
Yes.
So just in case we're disturbed,
Yep.
I'm going to greet them with a Lee Enfield.
Right.
I'll keep my mental sort of senses up, mind senses, just to see if any people come close, you know, so I can say, there's one coming around the corner or something.
Very occasionally, there's one getting hit. There's one. No, he's not.
Right, can I have my life senses up?
You can
Blinks out.
indeed, yes.
Yeah.
And just tell them that if they need me, I will be.
Yes, you're sitting there with the life sections watching the pings go out.
Yeah. Oh, look.
With a
7,
massive grin on his face.
6, 5, 4.
Cool.
Counting each room as it goes out, basically.
Grinning the whole time.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so we'll put him in the thing. Are you... Who's blowing the roof?
I think the idea was to try and drop stuff on him, at least, or basically entomb him,
Yeah.
and then blow the
I
place
believe
up.
the plan was basically to fill up the ice over the top of him and everything
Or
as well,
whatever.
wasn't it?
Oh, yes.
And
yeah.
then drop
Yeah,
everything.
That sounds like my jam.
So
That
that
does.
it's basically so that we seal it, so that whatever we then drop on him doesn't knock it out.
Okay.
The plan was to seal him in ice, I believe.
If you want to do that, I can watch the door.
Well, I reckon I could be able to do that, or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Well, I'm
Well,
quite,
you
I'm
could do it
quite
with
good
matter,
at
you could do it with forces, you could do it with various ways. So it's up to whoever wants to do it.
Well, I've got matter and forces and life, which all seem that they could apply to. Getting
I
water to
don't.
do
I
what I
don't mind
want to.
who's doing it as long as somebody's doing it. I do
Um,
not mind who wants to do it.
Forces.
Well, are you watching the door with your rifle?
Well, yeah, until you guys said, "Hey, we want to freeze this guy," and I
Yeah.
went, "Yay!"
But if
He's
you're
probably
doing-
set all your gear up, have you?
Hmm. Oh well, I'm just thinking how to preserve the metal spike for as long as possible.
Oh,
I think
Yeah.
the thought currently is that though the permafrost might get to it, it's going to get to it very slowly.
Probably
Would-
could you
could I use a little
encase it
smidgen
in
of
a
time
watertight,
to make it not
Yeah,
make it
like
so
a wrap.
quickly?
sheet
How
of
much time
rock?
have you
Only
got?
Yeah, somewhere.
Not enough yet at this point, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can just kind of sense
If
disruptions.
you
in
could
the
do that,
time continuum.
then we bury it.
I
But,
mean,
Or
I
could
think
a
those of
couple
you
us-
with matter, the spike is not purely normal iron. It is
No.
slightly magical.
but we might as well give it some help while we're
yeah.
there.
Could
because-
a couple of us combine our magic to make it better?
Our magic
Don't know how that
combined.
works.
yeah,
Well, that's what tablet's for.
that's what the tablet does, but
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think it allows us to do things beyond what we can do.
No, I know, but
So
if,
we
like,
couldn't
say,
do-
we have someone who's really good at matter and someone who's really good at forces doing
Yes,
it
they can
together,
combine
yes.
them together.
touching
Yeah.
a tablet
Yes.
to go,
Why don't you give it a go?
Yes, that is exactly what the tablet's for.
so who's good with matter?
Well, I've got a lot of skill in that one area, but I was just more trying to think of a non sort of,
Or time?
experimental way of doing it.
Basics.
A way that doesn't cause
The crates that were... Because there's an area with lots
A
of
vulgar
crates
way.
and
Yeah.
stuff.
a non-vulgar way.
All right.
Are they
Vulgar
labelled
ways
at all?
quite easy to think of.
Are they?
Yeah.
Labelled.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're labelled in German. but
Anyone
they're
speak German?
Yes.
Do you want to see what's in those crates? Something could prove useful.
Yeah, that would be
sure.
helpful actually.
And
I'll
I
go
will
and have a look through.
I'll cover the door while he does it.
Right, there are. What is there in these crates? So there are supplies, various canned goods of different sorts. There's stuff like paraffin, liquid paraffin for lamps and all that kind of thing that will go bang. Right, that's probably not what you want at the moment.
Well, it might help
But
us
it is
to
a grease.
Might help as a preservative on the spike,
It will
actually.
work as a grease.
That's grease. We
Well,
could do
'cause,
something
yeah,
like
it's
that.
waxy paraffin. Yeah.
But I was thinking also, is there anything like like camping gear, bedrolls, then.
Oh yeah, there's probably in canvas, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because that, if we
That will
get
help as well.
get some canvas
And soak it
Cover
in
it
the
in
paraffin.
cover it in paraffin, wrap him up in that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then
He's basically got a
Set him
wax
on fire.
coating.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Magic that to try and
Yes.
maintain its.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So apply matter to that to make it more resilient.
I'll start doing mundane things of getting boxes out of
yes, getting
boxes,
paraffin out of
and
boxes and canvas. Yeah.
over.
And then drop the building.
to-
And then drop the roof.
and I'm kind of looking at Abe for like direction.
Get the
of what
ice
to
around
do.
it
I'm
first
just
and then
gonna-
drop roof.
Yeah. Right, okay, so if we can get some sort of box together we can put them in, ideally we'll get some kind
Here's a crate.
Yeah.
Yep,
packing
here's a bit of
material.
Yep,
And we
here we
want to
go.
get some packing material around them, then we'll wrap that in paraffin because I want some sort of oxygen removing type. Try and make an oxygen removing material that can also be water. That if it gets too wet, won't lose its oxygen removing properties as much as possible.
Okay.
So yeah, give me a few minutes to work with some materials and see what I can put
Soak the
together.
crate in paraffin
Go
as
for it.
well.
So we're going to put him in a box.
We'll do all the soaking stuff and all that kind of.
There is soaking
time-consuming
and
things.
wrapping
Yeah.
and entombing effectively in
Yeah.
canvas and liquid
Yeah, I
paraffin.
want to do a sort of basically a mattery kind of effect that does mean that yeah, to remove any kind of
Okay,
because it's oxygen is what you need to rust with the iron. So if I can remove it,
deoxidization, yes.
indeed.
Right, okay, yeah, make me some form of matter doing roll.
Matter doing roll.
Arate, alternatively. It's been a long
Spend the willpower.
I was going to say,
half a year.
did I got any willpower back? Because I think I showed people how to use the
Yes, you did.
tablet and stuff
Yeah,
last
you
time.
did. Yes, you were. Yes, you were doing your thing.
And if I teach people something that
Yeah.
turns out to be very useful.
Then you get your willpower back.
Cool. So 3,
Yes, marvelous. Right,
Nice.
unless it's higher than
He
8.
is.
Yeah.
Abe packs them with this other stuff as well, which he assures
I
you will
mix
keep
things.
the
I
oxygen
take a
out.
couple of things out of my bag, like a little bit of chemicals and some paraffin, and mix it all together with the sort of. I basically take the bedding out of the rolls and stuff and kind of form like a foam.
Interesting approach.
And then we're
You're the expert.
wrapping in sort of not quite cotton wool but bedding, basically.
Hmm.
Probably with some sort of I don't know, tape or rope or something. Would they have gaffer tape in second world war? What kind of equivalent would
I
they
don't
use?
think you had gaffer tape.
Not gaffer tape, but we
You'd
can.
have that.
There's rope around. We can just
Yeah.
tie that up after soaking it in paraffin.
Everything's getting soaked in paraffin.
Yep.
And then dragged into a hole in the ice,
And then
basically.
wrapping and then try and form a waterproof seal around that and then put him in the box.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then the box you
Yep.
drag down the corridor.
Can I then ice it?
If you wish to try and ice it. So
If you want to work
that
together,
you're
like I say, you just got to trace the
so
thing on
if
the
we
So
touch
this-
do the thing on the.
because I think you were somewhere else, weren't you? Wanting to shoot someone.
so the tablet.
Do you want
I say-
someone want to watch the door?
I'll watch the door.
Would you help him? Because you're probably better at forces magic than I am, so you could help with forces.
And you could watch the door.
Sure.
And I can watch the door.
Sure. I can do that.
Milena will also watch the door.
I'm not
'cause
an expert, but I can.
She doesn't really want any
assist.
part of that whole amber tablet thing.
Because moving natural stuff around is my jam.
Here's your jam.
It is your turn. Right. So the amber tablet is covered with weird little inscriptions and runes and strange little paths and passages formed in it and on it. In this sort of impossible craftsmanship. You couldn't do this to amber with metal tools. It would just shatter. And basically all of you find a line to interact with.
Okay.
Or a particular, find a little rune or a little fractal diagram or something that speaks to you.
Mhm.
And then start to focus on that as you channel your magics.
Okay.
Okay?
Roll arate.
Right, you're rolling arate, yes.
So I'm going to spend a willpower.
Yep.
I think he's got it covered. So
I'm tired.
You are tired.
Oh, hello. 7, 9, 10.
Nice.
I've got a 6.
Right, marvellous.
696.
Marvellous.
What's the
Okay,
difference?
loads of success. It'd be 6. Lots
It's like
and lots
7
of,
successes.
yeah, like
between
7 successes
Oh,
between
8 plus my willpower.
Alright.
It's nice. That is a hell of a lot of
He is
magic.
stuck in there. That ice is indetectable from the permafrost ice that was already there.
Good.
That is he is well entombed. Right. That's it. And he's down this little effectively rock tunnel away from the main concrete at the base. I think the plan was to drop the tunnel really.
The plan was to collapse the thing and
Right. Are we doing that with magic or are we doing it with explosives?
We have explosives. on.
Explosives.
Have explosives.
Um,
Or magic and explosives. What could
I would
possibly go wrong?
suggest that we actually rig multiple points. Because we want to make sure that
Should collapse the room and the tunnel.
there's that corridor leading to the room where we found the werewolf.
Yes, we could damage that.
So if we drop that, blocking that corridor, maybe some charges in this room to bring it down.
You're
And
still
then
watching.
I shut this tunnel out here.
And
You're
then
still
in
in
the other
charge of door
corridors.
watching at this point, aren't you?
Yeah.
Probably.
How much have we got in the way
Um,
of explosives?
Quite a bit, because effectively the raw work of digging this out was done with
So
explosives.
can
There's
we
quite.
like
there's
blow
there's
3 or
more
4
here.
roofs?
Yeah, there's more here.
Okay, cool.
Did we come up with a plan
Yes.
to take the? Sorry. Go on.
I presume you will have probably had your senses up because I think
Yes.
we did that last time. So
Yes.
something, as you have everything,
I have everything.
Something
I
that-
know everything.
something that pins highly on life and spirit,
Okay.
but is not in the best immediate physical shape, is slowly coming towards the staircase that leads down to where you are.
Is that the thing that's been rampaging around killing everyone?
Yes, yes, it is. There are no other dots up there anymore. The
Okay.
dots are aligned to.
I call down the corridor. I think your friend's coming back.
What?
I hope it's friendly.
Where's Ollie?
Oh,
I'll summon Ollie and go to meet it.
right.
Ollie.
Oh, I just
what
whistle.
was it? Didn't it say big dog
He called it, big
Yeah.
dog, yes.
and spirit dog?
He called himself Spirit Dog, Little Dog. and
Little
Big
dog, little dog. Yes, that was it.
Right, so you go towards it. Is everyone else
I'm
going
not
towards
going
it?
in.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah,
near
I'm
the
not
well.
going
You're
anywhere
towards
near
it.
it.
Right,
My rifle is loaded, but
Yeah.
I'm not pointing it at
okay, you go with him as well. So
I'm
standing
watching though.
at the top of the stairs, because you've not seen the human form, he went straight from giant wolf to Krynos wolf, basically, didn't he?
Mm.
And when you were there, right, there is a very, very tall, appears human-looking man, very, very broad shoulders, very heavily built, with very, very blonde hair and very, very, very blue eyes, is standing at the top of the stairs. He is covered in blood and entrails, and some of it's almost definitely his. But even as you look at him, you can see some of the nastier gashes closing. And he looks down at you all and nods.
I'm assuming he's not wearing a German uniform.
No, definitely not. He is actually wearing something, so he's probably got the correct gifts for it. So he's got probably just some quite plain
Civilian clothing.
civilian clothing. Yeah, just some
Okay.
trousers and a shirt, which has also got blood in it.
Big dog?
He smiles down at you all. I'm taking my leave and heading back to my people.
Up or down?
He gestures upwards.
Might want to move quickly. But thanks.
Thank you.
Take this to your leaders. He throws something down the stairs towards you.
I'll
Um,
instinctively catch it before going, I probably should have looked at what this was.
Big werewolf turd.
No,
It's a grenade. It's the final.
Yeah,
no, it's not a grenade. And he's also holding something in his other hands. When you look at what you've been thrown, it's the medal bar from quite a high-ranked German officer. It's covered in blood.
Cool.
He goes, "Do you need this as well?" And holds up a head.
I will grin and then go, no, thank you.
Throws it off down the edge of the stairs.
I don't know. I made Cohen, by the way. I don't know if you know Francis Gilbert, the very nasty, what we call an Afandi, you might think of as an evil, magic-y person that was in charge of this place. But he's dead. You
The
don't have to worry
worm
about him.
servant.
Probably, along with other people.
Yeah, he's very, very dead.
Thank you. Now, I'm going that way. I would advise you to make haste as well.
Oh yes.
I hope you have safe travel.
You too. And he nods at Ollie as well. He does a sort of goes down on his front legs slightly.
Hmm.
Right, he turns and sprints off, literally like really fast.
What a nice fellow.
Assuming you're not a Nazi, yes.
Well, he was very polite to me.
Yes, he was.
I
Right,
think
okay.
we're alive because of your dog.
Yeah, when you look at the medal
Good boy.
bar, when you look at the medal bar, looks like SS Colonels.
Ooh.
You're quite impressed at that.
Von Dunkerhoffen.
And a dog tag, probably. Well, the equivalent of dog tag.
That's
Yeah.
a general.
General. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That was a general.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. So no, but
Remembers the bank smell.
the header's gone somewhere else.
General.
Lovely. So, with regards to setting explosives, how would one go
Yes.
about that?
What are we doing with the explosives?
How
Are
would
we
one go
magicking
about
or are we
that?
just exploding?
Can we work out if we can get
Probably
Elsa and the tablet out by the battleship, or you blow up any way out of it?
Oh, no, I was just going to start preparing it, not detonating.
We could probably use you could probably use matter and entropy to figure out where to place it. The best place to help figure out the best places to put it.
Would
Or
firearms cover
some
explosives?
form of.
We're thinking of the actual skill to like blow stuff.
And then the
Just
actual skill.
skill.
I'm not sure it'd be firearms for
Science.
military use.
Crafts,
of it.
explosives.
Crafts, maybe. I
Crafts,
think that's what I've got it for.
I might
I
make
have crafts.
crafts. I might make a case for survival, possibly, but probably
I have very good crafts. I'm pretty sure it doesn't,
Crafts is
shouldn't
probably-
cover this.
Yeah, crafts is usually a
You're
specific
the only person I would trust to like set up an
Actually, I would
explosive.
probably argue crafts or technology.
Oh, I don't know you very
possibly.
well. I've never seen you use
Oh,
explosives before,
okay.
have I?
I
One
can't
of
use
my character's
explosives.
backstory involved like 4
Well,
years
you're
of
very good at
I
shooting.
do not know this. I've
4
seen
years of
idiots
blowing
blow
stuff
themselves
up
up
in
with
the-
grenades.
All right,
and-
I'll just lug stuff around.
Anyway,
for them to
yes,
set.
people start setting things up. Are you,
Well, I've tested explosives and tested materials with
are
explosives
you going
on
to go
like, a
and?
testing range, and I could do some maths.
Who's examining Elsa and the amber tablet
Yes,
though while this
well,
is being set?
Do you want
Definitely
to
Elsa.
keep an eye on her because you've got the best life magic? You might as well see if you can do anything for her. I'll work. I'm basically just going to spend a few minutes, probably a minute or two, walking around and identifying the places where we want to plant the explosives.
Okay,
I'm going to use
make
a combination of
me-
entropy and matter
Yep. Okay.
to
Marvelous.
figure out how to bring stuff.
With
in.
your newly
Just
improved
want to roll two
array of
dice.
This is where there's that. I want to roll 2 dice and not have one of them come up a 1 for a change.
That would be nice.
Actually,
We'll see.
As basically
Well,
his
see.
avatar has hated him since he.
Ooh,
No ones, 2 twos, but no
Two
ones.
twos!
Yes.
Oh, no.
Shall I roll again?
Yes.
Come on.
Yay!
5 and a 9. There
Right.
we go. Sensory
Marvellous.
magic happens.
Right. Okay. So you find some places on both the passage to the thing and the stairwell down
So
here. I think
the
wasn't the plan
intention is the room itself,
Yeah.
where he's in, the passage to the room he's in,
Well,
the passage
he's not really in a room. He's sort of the end of the tunnel.
end of the tunnel.
basically.
But yeah, a few
The
places,
section
a
he's
few
in
bits
and the
along
bit
the
leading to
tunnel.
it. Yeah.
So collapse that entire tunnel, collapse the bit connecting this where we are to the rest of the base.
Yeah.
Probably this room as well.
Just collapse everything. Right. Okay.
Pretty much collapse everything possibly.
Yeah. I mean,
Apart from the bit we're going to be in.
Well,
when we're in the bathysphere.
no,
No, no.
I'm intending to collapse that as well.
Yeah, that should definitely
Okay.
be
Yeah,
collapsed.
I
I'm
mean,
intending to collapse basically everything. It's just that we'll put the actual sub pen on the longest timer.
Sure.
the
If there's any explosives left, set them in the room up there
yeah. I mean, you can basically study it. I mean,
where we
Yeah.
found the werewolf.
The research lab would probably be a
Research
better
lab,
area.
yeah.
because That might have. I know it's already been blown up once and probably isn't anything useful in it, but you never
Make sure there is nothing
Yeah.
useful in it.
effectively, yeah, you can begin to set the place up with explosives. Basically, particularly for the big room with all the crates and stuff in it, is a massive concrete superstructure, and it's very, very tall. But obviously the research lab is above it, so if you drop that down onto it, so there'll probably be some bits of concrete left standing, but none of it's going to be passable. Basically, I'm not sure you've got time to
I'm
take every concrete panel out, but
No,
yeah.
no, that's fine.
Yes, you've got enough time to make it awfully difficult to pass if you're any bigger than this, basically.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, yep, that's doable. Right, and then Elsa in the tablet.
So
Can I use some sort of awareness or occult or something to figure out if this paradox effect is about to wear off at any time soon?
You've got lots of occult and things like this. You doubt it's
diminished?
You doubt it's imminently going away,
Right, okay.
but it definitely, at least in terms of the water, there is a lot less of it than there was originally. I mean, when she came down the stairs with Francis, she was literally running.
Yeah.
She's now just damp, basically.
If Ollie helped, would it stop it?
Well, Ollie has helped to some extent already,
Yeah,
I think.
okay.
But yeah, she is definitely more sort of.
It's diminished, but it's not going away before we have to get out of it.
Can I try using Prime and Spirit to try to work stuff out? Because I'm quite good at both those things, and they are the best you can deal with paradox.
Yeah, all right.
possibly just rig up and build from so we can get out of here.
Well, one of the main things I want to work out is if the water could be affected without danger,
Oh, yeah.
and if there is anything I can do with any quintessence I have to try to affect. It's a much higher primal
Okay.
energy effect than I can do, but
No.
anything I can do at all. I got an 8 and 2 3s.
Right. So this is, in a way, for her and for the coming couple of days, this has been a big one, but it's probably got a lot of the worst of Paradox. This can't just have been getting here. She must have acquired some other as well.
Mm-hmm.
So this has clearly taken a lot out of her and put her in a slightly precarious position, but you think she's not got any more hanging Paradox to happen, as that makes sense.
Right. There's no more backlashes occurring.
There's no more backlashes occurring, so it's not going to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is diminishing, but it's realistically going to probably still run on for a little bit. You could try channeling, if you were able to, you could try channeling quintessence into her to see if she could sort of try and pay it off a bit faster, if that makes sense. Because she is absolutely out herself.
Okay, well, I could definitely do that with my level of things. I'll just have to sort of, wrap a couple of things around, like sort of things, and just. Is she giving water off everywhere? Is it just like?
She's basically
or
just
is it stigmata?
No, it's just coming out of her skin.
So all of her skin.
Yeah.
Then? All right. Well, okay, I'll try and wrap up as much as around as I can. Then.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how this will work with water, but.
Oh, good. She says.
Oh, is she awake? I thought she was unconscious.
Oh yeah, no, she was sort of dozing. Yeah, she's in and out, to be honest.
Oh,
but she was sort of walking originally.
Oh well, that's good.
She collapsed. She
collapsed.
You've not
I put her to sleep.
Oh
You
yeah,
put
you
it to
did.
sleep,
That's the point.
So that.
So she.
But she could have roused by now, you know,
Yeah.
with all the
Yeah,
heaving and
you
toing
haven't
and
been.
throwing and stuff.
Yeah,
And been
you
maintaining
you
it.
were
No.
maintaining it.
Well, I didn't realise you were awake. Hi, so my
Only
name's Abe.
slightly. Hello.
We're from British Armed Forces, I guess, or British Mage Armed
Where's
Forces,
he?
whatever.
Where's he gone?
The magical.
The magical forces of Britain.
Where's he gone? Where's he gone?
Oh, he's
I like
dead.
that.
The Royal Mage
Like
Force.
really dead.
Yeah.
We had like a special bullet and
Royal
like a
Mage
big
Force.
spike, and he's encased in ice. Trust me, he's gone for quite some time, even if he can come back.
Right. Well, she burst into tears. However, obviously she was already secreting water, so it's a bit difficult to really notice much difference. But her eyes are red.
Are you thirsty?
No.
Oh.
I think I can safely say I have never not wanted to drink this much.
I didn't know if you needed to rehydrate.
I'm like super hydrated. It's kind of the problem, I think.
Well, yeah. So yeah, hopefully that horror's over. We're just trying to get out of here
Some
now.
cork?
Don't worry. There's no more
I want
German
gin.
forces.
Gin.
Yeah.
Afraid we can't help you with that
There's
right
no
now.
more.
But we will as soon as we can.
All the forces in this lab are dead. He's dead, so you're safe here now.
Okay.
But we just need to get out of here. We've got like a submarine,
Oh god, I appear to have. Yeah.
and we can't
Oh.
take you in there while giving water off, otherwise it will sink.
Yeah.
There is a way out of here that's not underwater.
Yeah, I know.
And now that the base is totaled,
I was thinking.
there's just some surrounding
I could get her out.
people, and we could get.
We could get her out by using the out we've got to get away to the fishing village.
Yeah, but you could just go out the front entrance of the base if everyone's dead up there.
Yeah, that's
I could do that. I could disappear into the world.
Also, don't we have another out that we could just like? Don't we have someone we can call?
Oh well, yeah, we could just go back, but we should probably tell the Norwegian people here what's happened.
Sure. We could half and half. Or...
If you're going to give her some quintessence, you reckon she will probably
I'll
not
ask her if she
flood
wants
the
any.
bathysphere.
I'll ask her if she wants any. Just
Yeah.
anything to help her because she's obviously in distress, to be honest.
Yeah.
We'll try. So strap things around her and
Right.
see what.
Electrode?
Yes,
That looked like
definitely.
you were
Super.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, basically,
Very
like a band that goes
Jump
right ahead with
cable.
some electrodes in it and
So-
go around the
so-
wrist.
so-
And then I do the same to myself,
Okay.
and then I turn on like a switch and make some
You
notes.
know she's gushing water.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Watch how this will work.
This is, it's not the first eater I have. I know what they're like.
Starting another page.
Right, but very
I
successfully.
pull out some scrolls. There's an easier way to do this if you want.
Right. Apparently very successfully, however.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. She's like, let me sit for a second. I'll see if I can
So
get
she
the
has 3 more contestants.
water under control. Marvellous.
And I have none.
Right.
None.
Which she will immediately lose.
Well, actually, I can give her 4 because I can just change the ink cartridge in my pen.
That's true.
Hey, that sounds like a euphemism.
Anyway.
If I destroy something, well,
Right.
because I have a primal effect where if I destroy something, it can kind of, as its matter disappears, as the sort of primal energy goes back into the tapestry, I can sort of catch it and
Oh, cool.
Sacrifices.
That's very cool.
into an effect. So I could probably give it to her.
Sacrificial pens.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got 4 quintessence you can have if you want.
Well, unless you can transfer, I'll need to do that.
She's like, it's fine. You let us sit for a minute or two. The water levels definitely just go down to sort of seeping rather than gushing. Right. Meanwhile, him and probably with help from you, are
wandering down,
putting explosives.
I'm
there,
slugging stuff around.
So we'll set some up there.
Yeah, but also there's climbing and gantries
I
and
can do
all this sort of stuff to be doing.
So we'll strap that bit.
I'm trying to resist to taking an inventory of all the items in the
Boxes.
boxes.
Right. So she is now merely seeping rather than gushing water.
After a while, it was probably about halfway through her doing that, you'll probably get a call back from me saying, "How long do I set the timers for?"
An appropriate amount of time.
How long did it take us to get in here from the sea?
To get all the way in through the little tunnel. Bear in mind the battlefield was going quite slowly. It probably took you... it says only like 5 minutes back to the open sea, but presumably you want to be a little bit further away than just the open sea.
So it took us it took us a few minutes to get in. Okay, so it's going to take us a little bit longer to get out, as it going down is slower than going up.
So we have biscuits and tea because we're British and it's cold.
Yes.
And
a few other things.
You like some more milk though, Dan?
Yes.
Because we can't have tea without milk, that'd be madness.
Just
Absolutely. Luckily, it's cold enough in here that you could just keep milk,
Probably indefinitely.
Yeah, I reckon so.
Fine for
Well, I
some
don't know.
days.
At some point, it might freeze. That's bad for it.
That's true. No one wants frozen.
Someone's wanting tea?
Anybody else want any condensed?
We have extra tea.
Coloured sugar.
Yes, Roger would like tea.
I don't know how you get the colour.
Would you like milk for your tea?
Yes,
Oh,
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'll have some.
Biscuits.
sugar
Oh, the
pills
ginger.
from our American friends,
Did you want any sugar, subject?
Micanites.
Ginger biscuits.
I
Anyway,
like the blue ones.
Okay, I'd say set off the secondary charges in that corridor to stop them interfering with the other charges after 2 minutes to cover our escape, and set the rest for 10.
I don't know how much it is.
I'll put the actual ones in the sub-pen for you for more like 15.
You say 20 minutes.
20 is too long.
Why?
Okay.
No one's going to get here in 20 minutes, are they?
I don't know, but I don't want to find out the answers yes.
I suppose.
Half a cup.
Thank you.
Anyway, we blow that for 2 minutes.
Did you want sugar tea?
Won't be able to get him. Cool. Okay, let's get moving. I don't want to be too close when that thing blows, even if the rest isn't going off yet. Let's start heading back to the second.
I didn't think of the
2
noise when I
minutes for the initial ones, it gives us a lot more leeway with the rest.
right. Explosives are set. People are loaded into bathyspheres. Giant amber tablets are loaded into bathyspheres.
Does it fit?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, they'll probably shrink it.
Brief weight calculations regarding bathyspheres are undertaken.
It's much lighter than it would be, remember? Because I lightened it.
Yeah, true.
No, you strengthened yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I could probably learn it, or you could learn it. If we need to.
Either way, maths is done.
Westman might be able to take it anyway.
By Abe to clarify, it's not Ron Strong.
Maths is
Maths.
done.
Oh, it's fine.
Kick it and sort of give
Can
it a
you
bit
help
of
with the
shape.
maths?
The accountant can probably do maths, yeah.
Maths are done. I don't mind by the engineer or the accountant. It doesn't bother me.
That's fine.
And you get yourselves into your bathysphere.
Mm-hmm.
And get out and a little bit up for the slight
Ta-doom.
the doom.
That's
So
Yes,
we're
we can.
probably going to be out and a little bit away when most of the chambers blow, and then I've set the actual sub pen to be like another 5 minutes on that, on the grounds that once the rest of it's blown, there wasn't anything particularly sensitive in there. If someone's in the sub pen trying to figure out what's going on,
Yeah. Thank God I'm in the sub pen because everything else was just blown up.
boom. Exactly.
Oh, what are those funny bulges on the wall?
Yeah.
All right. Either way, there is nobody there because the werewolf have killed them all and they have all run away.
Yes.
Or you killed them all earlier.
We killed some of them. The werewolf killed a lot more than them, and the ones who didn't get killed, they didn't get killed because they ran away.
Yes, because they took one look and went,
Pip, pip.
no.
And we're all having a cup of tea in the bathysphere.
And we're all in the
It's
bathysphere.
going to be
With some
a
tea.
bit crowded in there with 6 of us and
This
the
giant tablet.
giant.
6 of you and a giant amber tablet.
But hey,
Rocks around a bit at the point where the sub pen goes because water's water.
Yeah.
Keep
biscuits.
dunking deliberately on television to remind people.
Yeah. Remind people that we're British
We are
about it.
British. Got to
Right.
dunk your biscuits.
You start coming wearing a Union jacket
Can
and
I use
monocle.
forces to control the flow of the water around the...
Only after March
you can
20th.
give it a go, yeah,
Stable
to even it out a bit. Yeah, certainly. That'd be difficulty 5.
Then yes, very much so. 3.
Right.
Okay.
5, 8, 9.
Ron basically talks to the sea.
Paul's let's try and
It's got to be like Dory.
You calm down.
Hey, it worked.
Did we?
Either way, the rocking about of bathysphere stops, and you slowly drift to the top. Bear in mind, you wanted to go down there at night, didn't
Yeah,
you?
We did.
Yeah.
So it's probably, is it dawn by now? Actually, Norwegian
No.
summer, yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
going to be a very long night.
Not a long night.
No, true.
So as the
true.
bathysphere breaks the water surface around where you left your fisherman friend who dropped you off, the sun is rising over the fjords.
Beautiful. We did see another one.
The fisherman friend is waiting for you all.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think you're the only one that speaks Norwegian
I'm the
unless
only
he's
one
got a
who speaks
mind,
Norwegian.
unless you've got a mind effect up.
But-
Not
Yeah.
right now.
I'll
looking at
place
the
him
sun.
over and
There was a bit of a. He points at the shore. There's a lot of shouting.
yeah. There was a lot of dying
Oh,
and then some explosions and yes.
but none of you.
No, we're all fine.
While looking at the sun,
Turns out that
I'm
when
gonna
you
hit flask, take a swig and offer it to you.
take prisoners, you should possibly pay attention to quite how dangerous they're going to be when they're let loose.
I can see that. Do you want to tow back to shore?
Meat maple syrup.
Please.
Right, they attacked the.
Sorry.
Build it up in a
I
coffee
am
shop.
pretty certain Canadians
got a
do
hip
not
flask.
keep hip flasks of pure
No,
maple syrup.
it was alcohol.
Fermented maple
That's
syrup.
Jeremy having a joke with Ron.
Yes, right, fair enough.
Not
It's not maple
Pete being
syrup.
rude about Canadians.
No, clearly not.
Yes.
Right,
I'm only racist in character.
right. You're dragged
I've heard
back
that
to
one
the
before.
bathysphere is dragged back to shore by the small fishing boat.
Yay.
When you get there, there's not like a welcoming committee or anything because they're mostly trying to deal with the fact that a bunch of random teenage conscripts ran into town when there's a monster killing everybody.
I wonder how that happened.
Not entirely incorrect.
No, it's pretty accurate.
And to be fair, the ones he let run away, ones that ran away, he let run away. He was very sporting.
He had other things to kill,
Exactly.
to be fair.
Yes.
Yes.
He was more interested in, killing the ones that didn't take one, they can go, ah! And run away. Because in general, werewolves don't like that sort of behaviour persisting. The ability to look at them and not go, ah, and run away. Right, so,
Perhaps there was a faux pas me going, that's awesome.
well,
One can get away with faux pas.
right.
It helps that you let him out.
You are dragged back to shore. The opinion of the people you've been working with in the village is that obviously they're probably not going to send another Nephandic master, but they probably are going to send some mortal officers out to work out what the hell just happened to their heavy water project.
Yeah.
So the general suggestion is that you had best make like a tree.
Did any of them want to go?
Hmm.
Because we could probably get Jeremy to
It might be
table.
dangerous for you.
No. They think about it and they have a bit of a chat.
Once we get off the boat, Ron is actually going to leave the town for a short while. Just go into the woods.
Would we like it? Are we very
I'm sure they've got a toilet.
Milena says...
Just to get away from people.
Milena says, could she come back with you? Because she needs to somehow try and, work her way back to the chorus proper because Rome was compromised. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. I mean, there's a course person that runs ball and stuff that we met, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to make
Interesting one,
contact
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of our order had to sort of scatter when they surrounded the Vatican.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, she wants the big globe map thing.
Oh, I've heard about that. I think
I
it's
wasn't sure, yeah, if you'd seen it before.
No, I've
the
not.
pirate
I've
with
never
the
seen it.
ship on it.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I've heard about it, but
Yeah. It was interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, it was
Very
fascinating.
impressive.
It was very impressive.
yeah. So, if possible, I'd like to come back. The Norwegians say they're staying, but it is decided that most of them that were most visibly involved in the resistance might vanish to stay with some distant relatives for a bit. Probably the guys you lot spoke to in Wolfham up in the north before.
Right.
Yeah.
So they think they might go on a little vacation, but they're reluctant to leave Norway entirely. And yes, but they suggest everyone gets doing that sooner rather than later.
Yes.
So,
That's wise.
is Ron just having some alone time?
He is just having some alone time.
Hugging a tree.
On a tree in the
He's
woods.
just embarrassed to try
He
and
is
sound
actually
well
going
from
to,
us.
to carve into one of the trees the words for Dieppe, which is in
Interesting.
reference to a bad time the Canadian forces had in the Second World War.
Yes. And you can find a nice tree that sort of overlooks the ruin you have created. You say.
That sounds like a good plan. Yeah, he'll do that.
What happened to our heavy water project? It blew up, fell down, and sank into the sea.
Yes.
But it's also a bit of a double thing because it also will then make it obvious that an English speaker did it, not a Norwegian.
Yes, that is also true. But
Basically,
yes,
to try
I
and
do.
help the locals.
Certainly can't hurt.
Mhm.
Right. So yes, the more magical locals have decided they're going to drift away away for a little bit. Right. So when you have regathered Ron and regathered your thoughts
And we gathered our gear that we
and
buried in
regathered
the
your
woods.
gear
Yeah.
buried in the woods, you have acquired two NPCs and a very large bit of and heavy bit of amber.
Unless the Norwegians want the supplies, of course, they probably might need more.
Oh,
than
actually,
that
some
back
if
into
you've
London.
got spare supplies and stuff, they'll totally take it if you're going back to London.
Yeah, have usage
Yeah.
for use for it. Then yeah, sure.
I'm also going to fill a small container with soil from Norway.
Okay.
I've got one from home, collecting them.
So, which of your extraction options are you going to
It's
favour?
like 20 ideas after the war. Yeah, no, Granddad's soil collections. Jars of soil.
Yeah.
How I remember the war. Loads of jars of
So
soil.
no idea.
Better that than Nazi opposite.
Yeah.
I know.
I've made a small map of Europe, a small land mass of Europe out of all the soil.
For a werewolf,
plan.
he was
Yeah.
trying to be nice. He offered you the head of the best of them.
Oh yeah, no, he's not insulted like that at
For
all.
a get of Fenris, that is a nice gift.
Yeah.
It's just not one that we really have any use
No,
for.
no.
Yeah.
He took the human
You
looking
can't easily
bit as
carry
he
it
took
around or like put
He
it on
took
the
the
mantelpiece.
strange
can
human
you?
rank badge thing as well. That sounded like the sort of thing he wanted, and a head.
Yeah.
He was trying to be polite. That was a get of Fenris really trying.
Mhm.
Anyway.
London.
Yeah. So
Via
how are we getting
how?
back? How are we getting back is the question.
Well, chewing, surely.
So
Everything's massive field, eh?
Chilling's things are going to take us to a fishing village that there are contacts with. And then it's a question of getting back from there.
He did say if it was urgent, he could extract you into all the way to Bexley Park, but it would take a lot of
Could we not-
energy.
Could we not get a boat,
Yeah,
the
just
plan
sail
is
back
Yeah.
across?
the plan
plan
is
is
if
basically
you
that.
use Turing's plan, it will extract you to a fishing village not that near here,
Yes.
with a fairly only a moderate use of energy. That they know that the resistance is running boats to the UK relatively
Mhm.
regularly.
Cool.
Let's do that one.
So we'll go with that one. I suggest we do that. Does it drop? I assume it drops us near the fishing village, not like in the middle of the town square.
No, yes, even Turing isn't that showy. It drops you slightly outside on a
But
country
it basically
lane. Yeah.
probably makes sense for me and maybe one other person to go in, have a scout around, and basically, so I'm not on my own, see us around, see if we can't make contact with the local resistance, and then
Come out of some sort of police box.
Well, as I say, because you sort of weren't expecting to live, yes, you didn't make very technically detailed plans about this bit. So,
No.
right. So I believe Abe has the device, doesn't he?
Yep, flippy fish.
flippy fishing knife.
Yes.
Flippy fish.
Flippy fish.
Well, it's like one of those pen knives. It's got like a fish in it that's shaped like a
Yeah,
fish.
shaped
doesn't
like
it?
a
Right?
fish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rather than an actual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you open it.
Yeah, it's not like
got a knife
Swiss Army knife.
bit.
and a-
It's not
So
Swiss because they don't have a
face
coast.
So you're all, I presume, standing around.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll cluster in.
Yes,
Mhm.
with the amber tablet possibly being
Yeah.
carried by Ron.
More than likely.
Up your jumper.
We'll probably have wrapped it in. Putting
Something,
Right, in
yes.
a blanket.
Paraffin.
we-
Yeah, carrying around a
Probably
piece
a
of amber
blanket
the
we
size
nicked
of a
from the Germans.
gravestone. Yes, probably
Yeah.
not the best plan ever.
Yeah.
Yes, blanket you nicked from the Germans. The fishing knife is opened. The world is briefly very, very long and thin.
Oh.
Really, really long and thin.
That's uncomfortable.
And then very, very briefly is short and fat again. And you appear to be somewhere else that you weren't a second ago. Those of you with time,
Mhm.
which is you and you, I think, you've lost probably only about a minute
Okay.
in what felt more like 5 seconds, but it's enough that your inner time sensor is going thunk, thunk on your head for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
We're not right, we're missing, we're early, no late, no early. Yeah, so it takes a minute for your sort of internal chronometers to straighten themselves out because you've lost some time somewhere there. However,
Got a
while
very
we are
small bit of jet lag.
briefly doing the transit, make perception and awareness rolls.
I assume this is all of us.
Difficulty?
6.
4 successes.
2 successes.
Marvellous. Right. Okay, so in the brief, extremely elongated moment
Yeah.
that was then very suddenly brought short,
Yeah.
it's some sort of correspondence and time effect. You're not.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You did something weird.
It's something weird. It's best not to worry too much exactly how that got put together again.
Short wormhole.
Yeah, effectively. It's a short wormhole, and he's tried some sort of time compensation, and it's sort of there, but this is because storing an effect very big in a very small thing that still didn't need to be very noticeable. There's always going to be some sacrifices,
Okay.
and it
Ron
was
has
about
just put it down
48
to
seconds.
Weird.
I'm not too worried about 48 seconds.
Seconds. No, you probably didn't need 48 seconds anyway. However, in amongst all that, so you all see something ever so slightly different. So, Pete, do you remember Jeremy was shown what terrain called Mount Quaff?
Yep.
Very, very briefly, you can see that again, which is to say, this is sort of looks like an oasis in a desert.
Previous chair of the Alibatin.
Yes.
Yep.
So what looks like an oasis in a desert in front of a mountain.
Yep.
And as you look at it, the mountain itself starts to tessellate, almost as if it was actually just made up of tiles that have all flipped inwards, and becomes an extremely smooth-sided and geometrically beautiful pyramid. You know, every angle is dead on.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
pleasing to the eye.
yes, that is very pleasing. And it becomes, as I say, this sea of geometrically perfect tiles, and in between there gets all the tiles about that big, so there's hundreds of thousands of them, and they're all perfect. And between all of them, you see a sort of what looks like molten metal running between every single one that solidifies into this very, very precise silver lining between everything. And as you do, this desert, when you'd seen it, was always ever so slightly dark.
Yeah.
As all it's finished, it suddenly seems to start to glow, and you
The
can
pyramid.
feel, yes, and you can feel that whole sort of desert realm is sort of coming back online.
Oh, just powered up.
Yeah,
Mount
something
Quaff.
turned on. Yes,
He just turned on Mount Quaff.
Yes.
yes.
The fish that broke the camel's back.
It's fine. It's fine. He's got it all under control. Probably. Ron, whilst that's all sort of going through, as to say, and you're a little bit like, oh, I don't like being very, very stretched. I don't like being very squashed up. Ollie does not like any of this, and when you do pop out the other end, is sort of by your leg going to himself. Currently, Ollie does not like correspondence magic, or time magic, as it happens. However, you very briefly see a woman in quite a dark room. It looks like almost like a little garret room, almost like an attic.
Okay.
But there's one small window and there's a desk sat in front of it. And she is sitting at the desk, and you see drawn out in front of her on sort of artist's cartridge paper is an absolutely beautiful rendering of the hammer section that you have, that Francis was using, that may or may not be Thor's hammer.
Yeah, that's just the hammer head, isn't it?
She has drawn like a perfect sort of handle for it, and then ornamentation that would come down it, and it just looks absolutely beautiful. And for a second, she looks up and looks like she can see you as well.
Do I have any idea who she is or where she is?
Make me some form of knowing where places look like roll.
It's got 4 dots in it.
Let's go with perception and...
I suppose it fits on the line. Knowing
Awareness?
No, because you want to sort of know
Survival?
in the real
Streetwise.
world. I will allow survival, academics, or streetwise.
Let's go with survival.
Because you can get different clues from different things, basically, can't you?
The
One would probably be
leaves
looking
outside
at
the
for
window.
ridiculous things of like if there was a tree outside.
Yeah,
or
what
the,
is it?
yeah,
That's
or the
what I'm
building
assuming.
materials.
Oh,
Menus.
yeah.
2 9s, a 9, 2 10s, and some notes.
do you have a specialisation in survival that's relevant? Probably.
No,
Free
no.
Probably not
No.
in
Not quite.
figuring out where
No.
things are.
That's actually what it's written down.
Yeah, how did you know?
Finally.
France.
France. Okay.
Looks like a boulevard in a sort of suburban-y type street, so we're not talking the depths of Paris here. But there's a certain type of mulberry tree that only really grows in that part of the world. France,
Weird.
which is currently
See the
occupied.
Eiffel Tower out the window as well.
Occupied and becoming less so.
Occupied but becoming
Depends
less so.
which bit, I suppose, at this point in time.
More probably not the bit at the very top.
So it's sort of more southern France.
Not all the way down into proper, but probably Alsace, somewhere like that.
Nice.
Cool.
Road trip.
And you think she saw you?
Oh, cool.
You're not quite sure what that means or
And
how that
she's an
works.
Afandi.
No, you definitely don't get that vibe off of her.
That would be a bit of a downer.
What was the name of the guy? Lord Evil. Something
Right.
like that,
I
wasn't
don't know. As long as I've got more
Yeah,
magic
yeah.
bullets, it's fine.
Yeah, looking up.
Right.
Oh, okay. Put it down. Put it down.
Yeah.
Colin,
Yes.
what you briefly see is a room. Looks like a bedroom. Looks like you're seeing somewhere in the Middle East. Your best guess would be somewhere sort of coastal and hot, and Tunisia maybe, somewhere like that, because you wandered around a fair bit, so you've seen some different stuff. Your best guess would be Morocco, Tunisia, somewhere like that. It looks like a bedroom in quite a nice house. There's lots of people fussing around someone who's in the bed, but what you particularly see is a man standing in the windows watching the sun come up that's holding a small baby in his arms, and you think it looks at you as well.
He probably does wave
Small
at
newborn, yes,
He probably
staring
does.
up.
wave at his newborn sister.
Yes. Right. You briefly see. It's the inside of. It can only be the inside of a wooden ship.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking 17th, 18th type century. Well, you've been looking for something else. You've seen some bits that belong to a different famous one, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Flying Dutchman.
Flying Dutchman.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Right.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yes, proper Golden Age of Sail type ship. It looks like one of the cabins. It's a big cabin. It's probably the captain's cabin. But as well as having all the sort of things you would expect it to have, there's bits of stuff. There's machinery. There's new bits. There's something that looked like it might be part of a diesel engine. And there's all sorts of strange odds. And when you look outside of the windows of this thing, you can see basically purple stars revolving. And sitting at the desk amid all the bits is your mentor, who looks up at you briefly and goes, Abe?
Yeah? Brian, what's going on?
And she throws something at you.
Right.
A grenade.
It's a coin.
Head.
No, it's a coin.
7 nuts.
No, the heads are gone. The heads are gone. It's a coin, a silver coin. She looks, I say, absolutely shocked and quickly tosses this thing that's on the desk that she's been working to and goes, find us.
Yeah, we'll do.
Right, and you all appear on a country road outside of a small fishing village about 200 miles away from where you were a minute ago, because it's got a lot of coastline, this area. Actually, probably 200 though. Tyrion wanted you well away from the trouble, didn't he?
That was a bit weird.
Yeah, I saw France.
Sorry? Oh, so you didn't see the pyramid?
No.
A pyramid?
Mount Quaff.
What's a Mount Quaff?
It's this big pyramid.
Okay.
Well, it was a mountain.
That doesn't sound very
reformed into perfect pyramid. It's very strange.
What?
Don't worry.
I think I saw where my sister ended up. Somewhere possibly Tunisia.
Oh, silver coin, I assume.
Yes, you are holding a silver coin.
Oh, where'd you find that?
I saw Professor Alexander, my old professor, the one that's supposed to have died in the whole big explosion.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Where was it in? It was...
I got this wrong in one episode and people pointed it
Yeah,
out.
it was Wolfberg.
Wolfberg.
Yeah. In Wolfberg.
Ugh.
You know, where the whole run out of time in space thing happened. But I saw her and she was on, well, it looked like a wooden ship, but I guess it might be the Flying Dutchman since we've had other stuff to do with it. But she'd obviously made some improvements.
Yeah.
But she's made some improvements to it, and I think it's flying through the ether somewhere, or somewhere not on an extra-dimensional location, or at least somewhere with purple stars.
But then just think of it like space, but not.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I'm just going to nod and then play with Ollie.
But she said find us, and they gave me this coin.
Sorry, said what?
Find us.
Find us?
Gave you the coin.
Yeah.
What's special about that coin?
Anyone with correspondence and Prime, or Prime who's anywhere near it, it is literally pinging away to itself. It's a beacon.
It's a thing for finding things.
Yeah.
Is there anything on the coin?
Maybe it's paired with something else.
How about...
Like, for instance, the weird gyroscope you have that it would fit onto.
Yeah.
How about we start off by worrying about getting back home?
Maybe we can talk about it on the boat.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not like it's. Even
I need
if
to read up
manage
on
to
this.
figure out exactly where
On
my
the
sister's ended
Alibatin.
up. It's not like she's going to be able to hold a conversation for a few years. So.
Yeah.
He stares into the forest
Give us
when
a
you
minute.
mention home.
Eventually. Says Milena.
Once duty's done.
Is it ever done?
And he looks at you and says, for me at least, that turned out to be a longer road than you think. Right.
Did you say that?
So, home. I'm from a small town in Spain that post Franco. There's not a lot of it left.
No.
Right, well, let's get this ship on the road.
Yeah.
Right.
So
So-
I'll head down with somebody.
Yeah. What I think we
Myself,
shall
makes
do
sense.
is we shall assume that you do get back to the UK and that everyone is very pleased to see you in London. But I think for the final interview,
Everyone.
you guys wandering down a road in rural, in fact, Scandinavia, and hope it's Twitter until you're going.
Yeah.
So I think we shall leave you for the closing image, wandering down a road in rural
Cool.
Scandinavia.
Yeah.
But yes, you shall get home to London, however. We shall assume that happens off camera.
Yay!
We'll go and cash in our free cakes.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Free maple
Celebrate
syrup.
with many.
Oh.
They even make you some Canadian pancakes to go with the maple syrup.
Taste of home.
Right, so we shall assume yes, a cream taste celebration is heard. Elsa will get better in the coming days, as will her brother.
Mhm.
And you can definitely find her some gin at some juncture as well.
Cool.
Right, so we
Excellent.
shall leave it there.
Cool.
Awesome.
Right, is that the end then?
Yes, that is the end.
Okay, cool. Right,
Cool.
thank you very much for joining us on episode 13 of Masters and Monsters, our finale.
Thank you to Sam for running it all.
Yeah, thank you,
Bye.
Sam.
Thank you to players.
That was really
Lovely
cool.
players.
Really enjoyed being Jeremy. It's lots of fun actually playing for a while. I don't get to do that a lot. Please don't forget to go and check out our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Also go check out our Discord. Lots of conversations going on there. Also go and check out our Patreon. Everyone who supports us helps us make it a bit better for everybody else. We've got free maps, free backgrounds for this show.
Yep.
So there's some information on
In progress.
and we have D&D stuff and adventure locations and all kinds of things going on. Go check it out. Carrot sheets, dungeon themed carrot sheets. I forgot about the red bubble, but we'll do that one next time. And don't forget. Ooh.
Back a bit.
Well, we don't get a have you
There
sold
we
a
go.
pillow option.
No,
Update.
no, we haven't sold
No
any
one's
of
still
the
made a throw
pillows.
pillow.
Someone buy a throw pillow.
Come on,
Just to
buy us
annoy
a throw
him.
pillow.
Or
Anyway.
buy one for me.
Well, look, you can get you can get
yeah.
these,
There
which
we go.
are the D&D carrot sheet notepads.
Nice.
Yeah, and Roger would like a throw pillow.
Yes,
For
Roger
my
would like
corner.
a throw pillow. What else? And we've got new shows coming up, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And when you subscribe, click the bell icon so you get notifications when all of our future shows come out, as well as our live shows. But yeah, this has been Masters and Monsters Mage the Ascension. It's been a fantastic game. Thank you very much.
It's been a lot of fun to run.
Yeah. And tomorrow we start Star Trek.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Adam's running that one.
Indeed.
So that will
Cool.
take the place of Masters and Monsters in our cycle.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So until next time, we'll see you on Star Trek.
Mhm.
Star Trek Morpheus.
Or Scion.
Or
Flint
Scion.
and
Or
Steel.
Scion.
Or Flint and Steel.
Whatever you choose to watch
Yeah.
next, really.
There's
I
loads
mean,
of
it's
shows.
YouTube. You can watch them on whatever audio you
Yeah,
want.
you can. You can go back and watch the old
You
stuff
might have
as
already
well.
watched them. You might know if Star Trek was finished by now.
It may be the
Maybe
future.
it's finished. Yeah.
We may have
Yeah.
holographic shots.
Oh, not this again.
Okay.
My head.
Anyway, before we fold in on ourselves, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.